Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Grade 9 Academic Math with your host, Mr. Samborski. Um, Hopefully, everybody's doing well. I'm kind of guessing that if you're logging on and doing math, it's because you're not recuperating for anything, so that's always a good sign. Bad luck for you, though. It means that you have to finish off some math. I'm going to try and duplicate what I was going to do in the class as much as possible. We're going to start with videos to begin with the hope that the audio and the visual together will help you figure the math out a lot better than if you just read it on your own or something like that. The reason I'm doing my own videos instead of picking it off the Khan Academy, I'd like to think I'm more interesting than Khan is, but it's also a bit more broken down than Khan Academy is. I find that their videos are very long, quite boring, but they're very thorough. The other thing is that this is going to give you the opportunity to hopefully think about it and try to remember things on your own, because at the end of the day, that is the best way to learn, taking what you already know and building on it rather than assuming you don't know anything. So with that in mind, where we left off was, well, we were just heading into exponents. We have looked at lines, we've looked at some of our grade 8 skills, and that's where we're going next, because algebra, as I've said all the way through, is one of the most important high school skills, and it relies heavily on your understanding of exponents. So before I get too far into this, you know, I like to throw questions out at you and let you guys take a minute or two to think about things, and then, you know, consolidate thoughts and then proceed with the lesson from there. I'm still going to try and keep that up. However, unlike in the classroom where I will sit and pause and wait for you guys to work on things, I'm not going to do that here. If you need a little bit of time to sit and think about things, hit your pause button. And when you're ready, press play, and we'll continue from there. The reason for that is that these files are going to be big enough as it is, and you will have no idea if it froze or not if there's no talking and nothing happening. So, no more babbling. Let's get on with the lesson. First and foremost, what is an exponent? So we've got 5 to the power of 6, and a lot of people will make the mistake that when they look at this, they think it's 5 times 6. It is not. What it really is, 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the little number there, the floating number there, tells me how many times I'm multiplying 5 by itself. So in this case, it's to the power of 6, so there should be 6 5s multiplied together. And if we were to put that all together, now I realize it's been a while since we've done this, so hopefully you remember that on your calculator you have a y to the x button or the little hat symbol. Kind of depends on your calculator, what you have to do. I would love to say that I'd be there to give you a hand, but unfortunately, you are at home. You're going to have to figure this out, and you're going to have to figure it out before the end of the chapter. All right. Identify the coefficient, base, power, exponent, and term. Well, everything together is a term. And a term is made up of 2 parts. Well, 3 really. The coefficient. I can spell. The variable, which is a fancy way of saying letter, and the exponent. Now, in this case, the variable is the base. Just like up here, the 5 is the base. So whatever value it is that the exponent is on, that is what is considered the base. Notice the coefficient, the 5.2, the exponent only applies to the number that it's attached to. So in this case, it's attached to the x, but only the x, not the 5.2. If there was brackets around it, then it would apply to the 5.2 as well. Solve for x equals -2. Okay, so let's sub it in. Now remember Mr. Samborski's rules for subbing. not a rule, but it is a good idea. Wherever you substitute in, make sure to put the brackets around there, because with that negative sign, it will mess things up if you're not paying attention. It also, I have to read it based on the mathematical rules. If you don't put the brackets in there, then you've got -4 minus 2 to the power of 2, which is not what you meant, but it is what you wrote. Following BEDMAS, I have to do what's in the brackets first. There's nothing in the brackets, so the -2 stays -2. Exponents is next. -2 squared is 4. There's no division, and multiplication says -16 is the final answer. Remember that sign carries through the whole way. All right, so as you can see, this was originally meant for groups of 3. If you're super keen, you are welcome to go through all of them. Since I had originally meant this for to be 3 groups, I would say each of you take 1 line. I will go through all 6 just so you can see the pattern. But yeah, go for it. Now, you might have a little troubles with the fraction one on your calculator because most of you probably don't have a fraction button. You'll just have to convert your answer into decimals to see if I'm right. That should be a 0 there, not an 8. Disadvantage of writing with my finger. And you'll notice that they're all the same. I've changed my mind. I'm going to come back afterwards and show you the rest. So 3 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 3 and 3 to the power of 5 give the same answer. So why? What is the rule, or what is the pattern that this seems to be following? The exponent 2 and the exponent 3, add to exponent 5. The exponent 2, the exponent 3, add to the exponent 5. The exponent 5, the exponent 3, add to the exponent 8. Okay. When multiplying, add the exponents. Hopefully you can spell the word exponents, because evidently I can't. So write as a single power. We're going to make use of our rule, and then we're going to solve it. Well, I don't have that one. All right. 8 to the power of 11. And that is a huge number. Wish I had that much in my bank account. The rules also apply to variables and terms. So when we multiply things out, nothing changes. Remember, a variable is just a number that we don't know, so it makes sense that the rules would still be the same. Give them a shot, and when you're ready, check out the answers. Notice the second one's a little tricky. Only the exponents of the a's combined. Since there is no other b, doesn't change. Notice the numbers multiply just like they normally do. -2 times positive 8 is -16. There's no number written there, so we have a choice between a 0 and a 1. In this case, it's a 1. We will come back later and learn, I can tell you some other time if you want why it's a 1, but just memorize it's a 1. So if the rule for multiplication is that we add them, subtract the exponents when dividing. Wow, that is horrible handwriting. I think I already know my first critique. So evaluate. We're not going to worry about what the final solution is, just what the exponent rules are. Again, because there's no other b, it doesn't change. We just rewrite it out. Yeah, 1/4 is right. Now this one's a bit of a trick. U to the 3, u squared. When you divide it out, I could write u to the 1, but we just assume it is a 1. Notice the v to the 5 divided by v to the 5. Anything divided by itself is 1, which means it's gone. Not 0, it's 1. 1 times negative 1/4 u is negative 1/4 u. So, to recap, B is for base. Oops. We add the exponents. So, for example, I don't know, x 7 to the 3, 7 to the 6 equals 7 to the 9. Yeah. Hey, I did it wrong on my sheet. And when we divide exponents, we subtract them. Oops, bx minus y. So I'm picking an easier example. Okay, that's it. Hopefully everything's as clear as mud to you. I'm going to skip back to the first page just to do the 2 sets of math that I skipped out on earlier in case anybody did any of them. But otherwise, that's it. You can see your homework at the bottom here. And good luck. I'll be posting the PDF shortly.